Story 1. The wind howled through the desolate streets, carrying with it an eerie sense of foreboding. Shadows danced across the cracked pavement, as if mocking the forgotten buildings that stood like sentinels in the night. Among them, the most ominous was a decrepit mansion known simply as the Abandoned House. Legend whispered tales of its dark past, a place once teeming with life, now shrouded in mystery and sorrow. Its windows were boarded up, as if hiding secrets too dreadful to bear. Overgrown ivy clawed at the decaying walls, nature's attempt to reclaim what had been lost. The heavy front door, once grand and imposing, now sagged on its rusted hinges. Curiosity lured the unsuspecting few who dared to approach, entwining their hearts with an irresistible desire to uncover the truth. One such soul was Emily, a brave young woman who couldn't resist the allure of the forbidden. With her heart pounding in her chest, she pushed open the creaking door, stepping into a world frozen in time. The air inside was thick with a stale mustiness that assaulted her senses. Moonlight filtered through cracks in the roof, casting eerie shadows upon the rotting floorboards. Cobwebs hung like gossamer threads, as if the spiders had woven a tapestry of death. Each step echoed ominously, as if the house itself whispered secrets to those who dared to listen. Emily's flashlight cast a feeble beam across the room, revealing dilapidated furniture covered in tattered sheets. The remnants of a once opulent life lay strewn across the floor, covered in a thick layer of dust. It was as if time had taken a pause, preserving the remnants of a forgotten era. Emily's breath caught in her throat as she gazed upon the faded photographs adorning the walls, faces frozen in despair, eyes hollow and lifeless. As she ascended the creaking staircase, Emily felt a chill creep up her spine, as if unseen eyes followed her every move. Each room she entered revealed more of the house's macabre secrets. In one, she found a child's room, its toys scattered haphazardly as if abandoned in a hurry. The walls were adorned with crude drawings, depicting scenes of anguish and torment. The further she ventured, the more Emily's courage waned. Shadows danced in the corners of her vision, and whispers filled her ears. A sense of unease settled deep within her bones, but she pressed on, driven by an insatiable need to uncover the truth that lay hidden within the bowels of the house. Finally, Emily found herself in the attic, a space that seemed to hold the darkest secrets of all. Dusty trunks lined the walls, each one a potential Pandora's box. Trembling, she approached the nearest trunk and slowly lifted the lid. The putrid smell of decay filled her nostrils as she gasped in horror at the sight before her. Nestled among moth-eaten garments were the remains of a small child, reduced to a mere skeleton. Tears welled in Emily's eyes as she realized the depth of the house's darkness. It had been a place of unspeakable horrors, a labyrinth of suffering and despair. In her haste to escape, Emily stumbled upon a hidden chamber concealed behind a crumbling wall. The air grew heavy, suffocating, as if the very walls of the house were closing in around her. She felt the presence of something malevolent, something that hungered for her soul. Heart pounding, Emily's flashlight flickered, casting erratic shadows upon the walls. In the dim light, she saw them, twisted figures, grotesque and otherworldly, emerging from the darkness. Their eyes gleamed with an unnatural hunger as they slithered towards her, their contorted limbs scraping against the decaying floorboards. Emily's screams pierced the stagnant air, but her voice was swallowed by the suffocating silence of the house. Frantically, she stumbled backward, desperately searching for an escape route. The walls seemed to close in around her, as if the very essence of the house conspired against her. But she refused to succumb to the darkness. With a surge of adrenaline, she sprinted towards the stairs, determined to break free from the clutches of the malevolent presence. As Emily reached the bottom of the staircase, the house seemed to rebel against her. The door that had been ajar moments ago now slammed shut with an ominous finality. Panic welled up inside her, but she fought against it, knowing that given him meant certain doom. She searched for an alternative exit, but the windows were either boarded up or too small to offer an escape. The walls felt suffocating, closing in on her as if they were sentient beings. It was as if the house itself had trapped her within its cursed embrace. In a last-ditch effort to survive, Emily retraced her steps, trying to find a solution within the house's dark labyrinth. She stumbled upon a hidden passage concealed beneath a tattered rug. The passage, narrow and suffocating, led her deeper into the bowels of the mansion. The air grew colder, and the stench of decay intensified as she ventured deeper into the secret tunnels. Strange symbols adorned the walls, emanating an aura of ancient rituals and dark magic. Emily's heart pounded in her chest as she realized that she had stumbled upon something far more sinister than she could have ever imagined. In the distance, she heard whispers, a symphony of haunting voices that spoke of forgotten sorrows and unspeakable secrets. The walls pulsed with an otherworldly energy, and the shadows writhed with a life of their own. The house was alive, a malevolent entity that toyed with its victims before claiming their souls. Determined not to become another casualty of the house's insidious power, Emily pressed on. The whispers grew louder, urging her to turn back, but she fought against the paralyzing fear that threatened to consume her. She had to find a way out, a glimmer of hope amidst the encroaching darkness. After what felt like an eternity, Emily emerged into a small chamber, its walls adorned with arcane symbols. In the center of the room stood a decrepit altar, covered in dried blood. The realization struck her, this was the heart of the house's malevolence, the source of its power. With trembling hands, she searched for a way to dismantle the sinister energy that permeated the house. Guided by an innate instinct, Emily found a hidden lever concealed behind a crumbling stone. She pulled it with all her might, unleashing a cacophony of groaning walls and trembling floors. As if in response, the house convulsed. Dust and debris rained down from the ceiling, and the walls cracked under the strain. The very foundation of the mansion seemed to revolt against the evil that had consumed it for so long. With one final burst of strength, Emily dashed towards the exit, praying that her actions would grant her freedom. As she reached the front door, it burst open, releasing her into the cold night air. She stumbled out, collapsing onto the ground, gasping for breath. Behind her, the house groaned its last, crumbling into a pile of rubble and dust. The darkness that had plagued it for years dissipated, swallowed by the void. Emily, battered and shaken, knew that she had escaped the clutches of a malevolent force that had haunted the abandoned building for far too long. She lay on the ground, her body trembling from the ordeal, but relief washed over her like a soothing balm. As the dust settled and the echoes of the house's demise faded into the night, Emily mustered the strength to rise to her feet. She turned to face the remnants of the once ominous structure, now reduced to a heap of ruins and shattered memories. A profound sense of closure washed over her. The secrets that had festered within those decaying walls would remain buried forever, never to torment another soul. Emily took solace in knowing that she had played a part in breaking the cycle of darkness that had plagued the abandoned house. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, but Emily could never erase the haunting memories of her encounter with the malevolent entity. The horrors she had witnessed lingered in her dreams, a constant reminder of the fragility of the human spirit in the face of true evil. Determined to find solace and meaning in her experience, Emily sought out answers. She delved into the history of the abandoned house, unearthing stories of tragedy and despair that had plagued its previous inhabitants. She discovered tales of a wicked presence that had seeped into the very foundation of the mansion, preying on the vulnerable and casting its dark shadow over all who crossed its threshold. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Emily became an advocate for the forgotten victims of the abandoned house. She dedicated herself to unraveling the mysteries of other haunted places, shedding light on the darkness that often lurked in forgotten corners of the world. Her mission was to bring closure and peace to those who had suffered at the hands of malevolent forces. Years passed, and Emily's efforts bore fruit. She became a renowned paranormal investigator, traveling the world to confront the darkest entities and free trapped souls. Through her work, she found redemption for her own harrowing experience and became a beacon of hope for others caught in the grip of the supernatural. However, despite the triumphs and the lives she had helped to save, Emily knew that the memory of the abandoned house would forever be etched in her soul. It had changed her, leaving an indelible mark on her psyche. The scars of that fateful night served as a constant reminder of the fragility of life and the ever-present battle between light and darkness. And so, as Emily continued her journey, she carried the weight of the abandoned house with her. It was a testament to her resilience and her unwavering belief that, even in the face of unspeakable horrors, the human spirit could prevail. She vowed to never let the shadows consume her, to always stand against the forces that sought to extinguish the light. For in the depths of darkness, there would always be a glimmer of hope, a flicker of courage that could defy even the most malevolent of entities. And as long as that spark endured, the legacy of the abandoned house would serve as a testament to the triumph of the human spirit over the forces of evil. Story 2, Ravenwood Manor stood like a solitary sentinel on the outskirts of town, its dark silhouette shrouded in an air of desolation. Over the years, whispers of a sinister past had woven themselves into the fabric of local folklore, rendering the mansion a dreaded symbol of horror and tragedy. Jenna, an adventurous young woman, had heard the tales since childhood. The allure of the abandoned building beckoned to her, compelling her to uncover the secrets that lay within its decaying walls. Ignoring the warnings of the townsfolk, she set out to satisfy her curiosity. The path leading to Ravenwood Manor was overgrown with gnarled branches, as if nature itself sought to deter trespassers. Jenna pressed on, her heart pounding with a mix of excitement and trepidation. The oppressive silence hung heavy in the air, broken only by the haunting caw of distant ravens. She approached the imposing entrance, its ornate double doors bearing the scars of time. With a trembling hand, Jenna pushed them open, revealing a grand foyer frozen in a state of decay. Moonlight filtered through cracked stained glass windows, casting eerie hues upon the faded wallpaper. As she ventured further, each step echoed through the desolate hallways, as if the mansion itself mourned its forgotten inhabitants. The scent of mildew mingled with the chill of the stagnant air, creating an unsettling atmosphere that made her skin crawl. Rooms unfolded before Jenna, each one a testament to the mansion's former glory. Dust-covered furniture lay in disarray, their once opulent allure diminished by neglect. Broken mirrors reflected warped images, distorting reality with a malevolent twist. In a forgotten parlor, Jenna discovered a grand piano covered in a tattered sheet. With trepidation, she brushed off the dust and ran her fingers across the yellowed keys. A haunting melody drifted through the air, as if an unseen pianist conjured music from the ethereal realm. Shivers coursed down Jenna's spine as whispers filled the room, their words too faint to discern. She retreated from the parlor, her heart pounding, determined to unravel the mysteries that Ravenwood Manor held. Nightfall painted the mansion in deeper shades of darkness. Jenna ascended a decaying staircase, its warped steps groaning under her weight. At the top, she discovered a series of locked doors, each one guarding its own secrets, driven by an insatiable need to uncover the truth. Jenna located a rusty key hidden beneath a threadbare rug. It fit into the lock of a door that led to an attic, a place where the darkest secrets often lingered. The attic, a labyrinth of forgotten artifacts, sent a chill down Jenna's spine. Shadows danced in the corners, their forms morphing into grotesque figures. The air grew heavy, suffocating, as if unseen eyes bore into her very soul. Among the dusty relics, Jenna stumbled upon an aged diary, its pages yellowed with time. It chronicled the tragic tale of the mansion's former inhabitants, a tale of forbidden love, betrayal, and a curse that had befallen Ravenwood Manor. As she read, whispers resonated in her ears, their voices dripping with anguish. The curse, it seemed, trapped the spirits of the doomed lovers within the mansion's walls, their tormented souls forever bound to Ravenwood Manor. Suddenly, the room plunged into darkness and the temperature plummeted. Jenna's breath turned to mist as the apparitions materialized before her, their hollow eyes filled with sorrow and despair. The spirits whispered their plea, begging Jenna to lift the curse that shackled them to Ravenwood Manor. They warned her of the malevolent force that fed on their anguish. Growing stronger with each passing moment, Jenna's resolve hardened. She understood the weight of the task before her, the liberation of trapped souls and the confrontation of the malevolent force that held sway over Ravenwood Manor. Guided by the spirit's whispers, she embarked on a perilous journey through the depths of the mansion. The walls seemed to shift and contort, their very essence lashing out against her presence. Shadows slithered across the floor, reaching out with ethereal tendrils, attempting to ensnare her. But Jenna pressed on, armed with newfound determination. She followed a hidden passage that led to a forgotten chamber, concealed beneath layers of dust and decay. In the center of the room stood an ancient altar, adorned with cryptic symbols that hummed with an otherworldly energy. With trembling hands, Jenna retrieved an ornate dagger, said to possess the power to sever the ties of the curse. The air crackled with anticipation as she approached the altar, her heart pounding in her chest. As she raised the dagger high, a deafening roar reverberated through the chamber. The malevolent force, awakened by her audacity, manifested before her in a swirling vortex of darkness. Its presence was suffocating, exuding a palpable malice that threatened to overwhelm her. But Jenna refused to yield. With a surge of courage, she plunged the dagger into the heart of the cursed altar. A blinding light erupted, forcing the darkness to recede. The very foundations of the mansion quaked as the curse shattered, unleashing a chorus of liberated souls. Their ethereal forms soared through the chamber, their anguished cries transforming into triumphant melodies. The malevolent force writhed in agony, its power waning in the face of the spirit's newfound freedom. As the last remnants of the curse dissipated, a profound stillness settled upon Ravenwood Manor. The mansion, once a haven of sorrow and despair, was now filled with a sense of peace and closure. Jenna stood amidst the ethereal glow, witnessing the souls of the cursed lovers ascend towards the heavens, their expressions finally free of anguish. Tears of relief streamed down her face, mingling with the remnants of her battle against the darkness. With the curse lifted, Ravenwood Manor seemed to breathe a sigh of relief. That oppressive aura dissipated, revealing the true beauty that lay beneath the layers of decay. Sunlight filtered through the restored stained glass windows, casting vibrant hues upon the walls. Hues of the mansion's transformation spread through the town, inspiring awe and wonder. Locals marveled at the once abandoned building that now stood as a symbol of hope and redemption. Visitors flocked to witness its resurrection, drawn by the allure of a place reborn from the ashes of its haunted past. Jenna, forever changed by her encounter with the malevolent force and the spirit she had set free, became a guardian of Ravenwood Manor. She dedicated herself to preserving its newfound peace and protecting it from the encroaching darkness. Years passed, and Ravenwood Manor stood as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of compassion. It became a sanctuary for lost souls seeking solace and redemption, a place where the echoes of the past mingled with the promise of a brighter future. And though the memory of the horrors endured within its walls remained, Ravenwood Manor emerged as a beacon of light, a reminder that even the most forsaken places could find salvation and that the darkness could be overcome by the unwavering determination of those who dared to confront it. Story 3. In the heart of the dilapidated town, an abandoned asylum stood like a silent specter, its ominous presence casting a foreboding shadow over the landscape. Tales of its dark history had spread like wildfire, whispered by those brave enough to approach its decaying walls. Sarah, a curious journalist with a penchant for the macabre, was drawn to the asylum's enigmatic allure. Ignoring the warnings of the townsfolk, she embarked on a treacherous journey to uncover the asylum's secrets, armed with nothing but her camera and an unyielding determination. The rusty gates groaned in protest as Sarah pushed them open, granting her entry into the asylum's foreboding embrace. The air grew heavy, thick with the scent of mildew and forgotten despair. The corridors stretched out before her like a labyrinth of darkness, each step amplifying the echoes of her own apprehension. As she ventured deeper into the asylum's bowels, the walls seemed to breathe, whispering secrets she could not comprehend. The flickering light from her flashlight danced upon peeling wallpaper, revealing fragments of past horrors etched upon the crumbling surfaces. Rooms lay in disarray, remnants of a bygone era. Tattered straitjackets hung from rusted hooks, bearing witness to the torment endured by the asylum's inhabitants. Cold drafts swept through the halls, chilling Sarah to the bone, as if the very essence of the building sought to extinguish her presence. In one room, Sarah discovered a forgotten diary. Its pages yellowed with age. The words chronicled the asylum's descent into madness, a tale of experimentation, cruelty, and the suffering of those deemed unfit for society. She shuddered at the depths of human depravity captured within its fragile confines. Driven by an insatiable need for answers, Sarah continued her exploration. With each step, the asylum's malevolent history enveloped her, seeping into her pores like a toxic miasma. Shadows danced in her peripheral vision, manifesting as fleeting apparitions that dissolved into nothingness when confronted. The air grew thick with a palpable presence, an ethereal energy that clung to her skin. Whispers echoed in the darkness, a chorus of tortured souls begging for release. Sarah's heart raced, her breath catching in her throat as she became entwined in the web of the asylum's haunting past. In the depths of the asylum's basement, Sarah stumbled upon a hidden chamber stained with the blood of countless victims. Symbols of occult rituals adorned the walls, pulsating with a sinister power that threatened to consume her. Fear gnawed at her sanity, but the journalist pressed forward, fueled by a mix of determination and morbid fascination. She found an ancient tome amidst the chaos, its pages inscribed with forbidden knowledge. With trembling hands, she deciphered the incantations that promised a glimpse into the asylum's darkest secrets. Unbeknownst to Sarah, her insatiable curiosity had awakened an ancient evil that slumbered within the asylum's depths. As she recited the incantation, the chamber quaked with an otherworldly force. Shadows coalesced into grotesque forms, clawing at her sanity, eager to ensnare her within their nightmarish embrace. Desperation flooded Sarah's veins as she realized the dire consequences of her actions. She attempted to reverse the incantation, to undo the darkness she had unwittingly unleashed. But it was too late. The entity had awakened, its hunger for suffering insatiable. In a frenzied race against time, Sarah saw the means of escape. The asylum's corridors shifted and twisted, leading her deeper into the labyrinth of despair. The walls closed in, taunting her with their distorted faces, mocking her futile attempts to escape. The malevolent force pursued her relentlessly, its presence growing stronger with each passing moment. Sarah's heart pounded in her chest, her breath coming in ragged gasps as she stumbled upon a locked door at the end of a dimly lit hallway. Desperation consumed her as she frantically searched for a key, her trembling hands fumbling through her pockets. In a stroke of luck, her fingers brushed against a cold metal object, a key. With a surge of hope, she inserted it into the lock, praying for a way out of the asylum's clutches. The door creaked open, revealing an old staircase leading to the rooftop. Without hesitation, Sarah ascended the stairs, her legs burning with exertion. She burst through the rooftop door, greeted by the chilly night air and the sight of the moon casting an eerie glow upon the asylum's dilapidated exterior. But the asylum was not ready to release its hold on her. The malevolent force pursued her onto the rooftop, its dark tendrils reaching out, seeking to ensnare her. She sprinted across the uneven surface, her heart pounding in her ears, fueled by adrenaline and a desperate will to survive. As Sarah reached the edge of the rooftop, she hesitated for a moment, contemplating the leap into the unknown. The void beckoned to her, offering a chance at freedom, but at a steep cost. With a final surge of courage, she leaped into the abyss, plunging into the darkness below. Pain seared through her body as she landed on the ground, the impact stealing the breath from her lungs. Dazed and disoriented, she pushed herself up, stumbling away from the asylum's looming presence. As Sarah distanced herself from the forsaken building, a sense of relief washed over her. The echoes of the asylum's horrors gradually faded, replaced by the sounds of the outside world, the chirping of birds, the rustling of leaves in the wind. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Sarah tried to put the nightmare behind her, burying the memories of the abandoned asylum deep within her psyche. Yet, fragments of the ordeal haunted her dreams, reminding her of the evil that still lurked within the asylum's decaying walls. Determined to find closure, Sarah returned to her role as a journalist, using her platform to shed light on the dark history of the abandoned asylum. She uncovered stories of the patients' suffering, exposing the neglect and abuse they had endured. Her articles became a rallying cry for justice, a plea to never forget those who had suffered within those walls. As time passed, the town rallied behind Sarah's cause. The abandoned asylum, once a symbol of terror, became a monument of remembrance and a call for change. Community efforts were made to restore the building, transforming it into a memorial and a place of healing for those affected by its dark legacy. But even in its transformed state, the abandoned asylum held a lingering presence, an ever-present reminder of the horrors that had transpired within. Visitors reported strange sensations, whispers in the wind, and glimpses of apparitions roaming the halls. Sarah, driven by a need for closure, returned to the asylum one final time. Armed with a camera, she ventured through the newly restored corridors, capturing the remnants of the past and the hope for a brighter future. As she stepped outside, a sense of peace enveloped her, The abandoned asylum, once a chamber of nightmares, had been reborn as a symbol of resilience and the triumph of the human spirit over darkness. Sarah knew that the scars of her experience would forever remain etched into her soul, but she also carried with her a sense of purpose, to shed light on the forgotten stories, to give a voice to the voiceless, and to ensure that the horrors of the abandoned asylum would never be repeated. Years passed, and Sarah's efforts bore fruit. The town became a hub of awareness and support for mental health, with resources dedicated to the well-being of its residents. The restored asylum served as a center for education, counseling, and advocacy, helping those in need find solace and understanding. Sarah's own journey of healing continued as she delved deeper into the mysteries of the human mind. She became an advocate for mental health, using her experiences to educate others about the importance of compassion and empathy. The abandoned asylum, once a place of nightmares, became a beacon of hope and transformation, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of redemption. It stood as a reminder that even in the darkest corners, there is always the potential for healing and renewal. But deep within the recesses of the asylum, whispers still lingered. The echoes of the tormented souls who had suffered within those walls remained, a testament to the enduring power of the past. And while the asylum had been repurposed, there were those who claimed to hear the faint cries and see the flicker of ghostly apparitions. Some believed that the dark energy of the abandoned asylum could never truly be extinguished, that it had seeped into the very foundation of the building, forever staining it with the weight of its haunting history. As for Sarah, she accepted that some wounds may never fully heal, but she found solace in knowing that her actions had brought about change, that her words had given a voice to the silenced, and that the legacy of the abandoned asylum would serve as a constant reminder to fight for justice and compassion. And so, the abandoned asylum stood as a testament to the power of storytelling, the resilience of the human spirit, and the enduring allure of the unknown. Its halls echoed with the stories of the forgotten, and its walls whispered tales of both horror and redemption, a reminder that sometimes the most haunting places can teach us the most profound lessons.